All right, so exciting news. The character sheet is done. And I'm excited that the character sheet is done. I'm glad that we're going to move this out of the way. I'm glad that I'm able to share this with y'all because this is some exciting stuff. Now, there's a reason why I have everything set up like this. There we go. Um, we are going to, I'm going to show you why this nonsense took so long. And that's because I was very thorough with it. I wanted to make sure that it did everything it was supposed to do. And for this sheet to fill out most of your character, all you need to do is pick out your essence, your essence, we'll just drop that down, your background, your awakening, and your shade vessel type. Now, of course, you're going to need the rulebook to know which options are available to you before you start just playing things together. There is a different list of which awakenings are available and backgrounds are available to each essence. So you're going to need the book to figure out what is what. I'm not going to auto delete a drop down list or control that. I'm not that talented. So, and generates everything: your scores, your power, your toughness, your wounds, movement, shade test, cantrip bonus, your siphon, all of that. Your trait when it comes to your sip checks and your stain rolls and your siphon rolls. Every time you have your stain rolls a half action, you get a buff, a bonus. Every time you siphon from the realm, you have a kind of like a karmic well, backlash of some sort, and your resistances are already generated here. So you don't. So just choosing these four things takes care of pretty much everything else. The only thing you should have left to do is to go to the domains and click Generate Starting Library Points. And with those points, you will start making your spells. Let's go back to the Shade Pool. Shade Pool, this is where all the fun stuff is done. This is how you get access to the shade. This is right here, your shade pool is where you will see your shade displayed after you roll for it. So, for example, we're just going to do a sip check, see if we pass. You roll the 4. You may make a stain roll as a half action, and ready. You may ready spells in your library equal to the amount of Aether Shade generated by that roll. So again, this sip ability was copy pasted into your chat box, so you know exactly what happens when you roll it. Even if you would forget, the system's going to tell you. So now we do a stain. We roll all of our dice. We got 5, 1 corruption, 1 purity, and it's auto generated here. It just auto filled for you. Pretty neat, pretty cool. We didn't get any unstained. Spell battery is another roll, and it's literally just you click it. Spell battery recharge roll was a 6. You may ready 1 spell in your library with spell battery less than or equal to 6, or any spell if it's a 6, really. We have this is real cool. So we have a spell for Hugo's character. We have backup prototype, which is a summon. We have Trojan scan, which is channeled, and we have uh, just a blank one. So we're going to try and cast the summon. Click cast spell, and it says cast check. The spell backup prototype is exhausted and cannot be cast. So what should happen is with that spell battery roll, be like, oh hey, I had a spell battery. Let me use that on the prototype. So you hit ready spell, and that just tells you that the spell is ready because you had a spell battery check to justify it, and now you can cast the spell. And it gives you the description of the spell, how much shade was cast with it, and it was automatically deducted. The cost of this spell was auto deducted from your shade pool automatically. So you don't have to worry about tracking shade or making sure that you have enough. The system will tell you. This character sheet will tell you whether or not there's enough shade. So now we have Trojan Scan, which is already ready. So we can just cast that spell. Now, let's just go ahead and ready it again. And now we're going to add a cost to it of 2 because it says base cost of 2 Aether, and you pay X more shade. You can see the abilities and ready spells of one enemy and the ready spells of one enemy, and they gain X stress runes. So we're going to cast this spell with giving 2 stress runes. We're going to cast a spell now, and insufficient shade. So um, we don't have enough Aether Shade to cast. So this sheet will auto track all of your shade and whatnot. Let's go over to skills in combat. If you have a basic skill test, use the drop down, pick the skill. Let's go with acrobatics. Hit skill test. It will give you in the chat box the skill you rolled for, the 3d6 roll, your skill bonus, your rune penalty, your rune buff, and the total. Very self-explanatory. In combat, right below that, we have the defense roll, your unarmed attack, and then weapons attacks. And you can keep adding weapons. We're just going to go through each roll. All right, defense roll also does the 3d6 with protection points and everything else as previously mentioned. So it's pretty nice. The unarmed attack is pretty much the same, except now we get it just tells you what the damage will be, and the damage is set to your power, which is the default. And at the bottom, it says damage 3, and the target rolls perception for defense. So you have that little continuation of combat to the Shade Master as to what needs to be rolled. And the same will be true for weapons. We're going to do a weapon attack with the Hyper Blade. That's rolling for Streetwise. All right, so we got to roll 22, and the power with power 3, and the total damage is going to be 2. Or not 2, 5 from the basic the power plus the 1d6 of damage. So 1d6 was rolled in addition to the power, which gives us a total of 5 damage. And the target rolls for the rolls bluff for their defense, and thus the game will go on. Now we also have artifacts, which are pretty cool. Um, this artifact is already ready and ready for us to conjure. So we hit conjure just like ready spell, but this one's different. It says Mirror Mask is already conjured and ready. So you have to basically tell the system, yeah, the artifact that I had is already gone. So you already it got broken. You're no longer using it. It dissipated however it was. So you click over to exhausted and then hit conjure. It says that you don't have enough shade. Again, this is a very thorough system. So we're going to go back and do another stain check. All right. Let's do another stain just for the lulz. So now we have a little bit more shade to work with. All right, let's conjure again. Hugo's conjured the Mirror Mask for 1 Aether and 1 Unstained. Allows the user to change their appearance to free action for 1 Unstained shade. Again, this is very basic. It tells you what's going on in the chat box, so there's no mysteries. Afflictions and character aspects. As you all know, there are consequences for being out of character in this game because it is a game based on magically bound characters. So you have afflictions. And Hugo's in particular are you cannot pass up the opportunity to learn something new, particularly on this quest. He also cannot utilize flattery. He can only state observations. So he's got a little bit of the tism going on here. And you must read all literature about your current quest that crosses your path. So he is uh, a study a studying savant, and because of this, he has character aspects. He gets +5 to any test that involves reading written text of any sort. Um, Whenever he gains library points in knowledge, he doubles those points instead. So he learns very quickly in the knowledge domain. And whenever a shade summon you command deals damage, add +1 to your spell battery dice until the end of this encounter and make spell battery rolls. So this makes him a little more. His shade summons allow him to learn more from the world around him, so to speak, allows him to recover those spells faster, all that kind of stuff. And hitting the activate button on these will deduct shade. So activated bookworm for 3 ether, and then it adds a description of that character aspect. Now, let's say Hugo has been bad, and he just, in a hurry, he was in the middle of combat, he had to run, the place was getting destroyed, and he had to pass up an opportunity to learn something new. So he gets a shade burn tick, and then he goes to cast a spell. Spell doesn't happen. Instead, he gets shade burned for the following. Shade burn rolls 1d6, 5 damage from shade burn. You can never pass up the opportunity to learn something new. So it tells him what he did wrong and why it happened. So that's the new character sheet. This is we're going to be able to play very soon. I'm looking for players, and I'm excited. This is a fun. This took me years to do. Took me way too freaking long, but it's here now. It is here, and it's going to be fun. We are going to have a lot of fun with this. Um, Again, this is what we have to look forward to. And I already have the campaign set up. I'm working on it now, and I hope to see you all there with me. Thank you very much. Bye bye.